Mimir, there's something I wanted to ask you about. Hildisvini told me about your visit to secure Hel's army, but was reluctant to elaborate when it came to negotiating with Hrasfelger.
Ah, yes. Well, I can see why he'd hold off on such a subject until he saw if we survived the battle.
Let this wait. Stay alert. Freya, something is on your mind. What is it?
Freyr's sword. I'm glad he got it back.
Odin stole it?
Not quite. It couldn't be stolen. It had to be given freely. Freyr had it forged in his younger days, imbued with its own motives and passion. For centuries, he swore he would only ever set it down in death, or upon meeting the love of his life. Both he and the sword were romantics, you see.
The gravestone. No doubt a berserker awaits. Maria, what exactly did you promise the large bird in Helheim?
Oh,
Win
nothing.
mines, not wars.
Tyr understood the greatest fight of them all was the battle for people's hearts and minds. As I was saying before about Hrasfelger, it's just that she'd like to retire.
Retire? Hel's Eagle wants to retire?
Indeed. And don't ask me what she expects to do with her free time. I assure you there is no reassuring answer.
Hold! What is that?
Isn't that the spear from Tyr's statue?
Wish for peace. Be ready for war.
Oh, that's astute of the elves. Tyr never sought war, but he knew he had to be ready for it.
Aye. Best be armed than not. Impressive looking weapon, isn't it?
It is big.
Were you serious before, Mimir? Hrasfelger truly wishes to retire? Can she even do that? Not be Hel?
Apparently so. She just requires relief. Someone else to step in and become Hel, as it were.
Not exactly an office many would wish to occupy.
Aye. Terrible weather, infinite hours, and the possibility of unleashing terrible mischief on the realms if they're careless. Or worse, if they aren't completely trustworthy.
But if she were to leave without a replacement?
Complete chaos, yes.
Well, I'm sorry I asked.
Where? You may tell a story, if you wish.
Am I preferable to silence at last? A rare day. I'm touched. But since you mention it, there has been one on my mind of late. It goes back to my earliest days, when I had little more to do than observe the mortals who passed through our forest. One summer, a local laird of renowned eccentricity chose to sequester himself with a small coterie of kinsmen and followers. The aim of their woodland retreat was to achieve enlightenment through study and discipline. They took oaths to brook no distractions until they became wise men.
Distractions.
Aye, women, drink, mostly women. As you can imagine, things deteriorated quickly. By autumn, tempers were frayed and wisdom remained in short supply. One day, I watched as the laird and his brother took their hunt. There they found, at the banks of a river, a lady as fair as any they'd left behind. She pleads for their assistance for fear the currents would carry her off if she tried to cross. The laird doesn't miss a beat. He hoists her onto his shoulders, carries her across, sets her down, doffs his cap, and fords back across to his brother.
Hold. The wolves are distracted.
Fire behind you!
Enemy behind you, Kratos!
Behind you! Suspect that's all of them.
These were Coal Raiders. Infamous.
Eating wolves. Atreus and I rescued ours from such an encampment.
That was kind of you. The Coal Raiders have been a blight on this land. The way they've abused its creatures. Perhaps we should do something about it.
Perhaps.
There, fancy a riddle.
If you fancy a boot to the head.
Riddle solved.
Know anything about the frozen dragon?
It was Baldur's. He took Atreus. Tried to escape with him. We fought on its back.
The things he put you through.
Odin gave the commands. The blame is his.
So, the laird and his brother. All summer they'd kept their oath to avoid the touch of woman. Yet the laird didn't hesitate to carry the fair maiden across the river before returning to his brother, who is dumbfounded, can't even bring himself to speak. The day stretches on, the laird carries on hunting, and his brother quietly gnashes his teeth down to powder. Finally, the dam breaks. Brother, he cries! How could you do it after everything we've sacrificed?
Hold. What is that? Defend the peace.
Well, I think that's the last of it. Doubtful we'll find any more interesting bits.
I always admired the love Tyr inspired.
Where I come from, gods of war are not revered in such a way.
Not all gods of war are the same, brother.
No, they are not.
It's strange. There are still signs of the world serpent all over the lake. But we saw him disappear at Ragnarok.
That can only mean the legend was true all along. That blow from Thor sent Jormungandr straight back in time. A younger Jormi, fresh from Jotunheim, would grow into the serpent we know.
When we first met the snake, you said that he found Atreus familiar. Perhaps they met in Jotunheim.
Perhaps so, brother. We'll have to ask the lad for that story when we next see him. Finishing my story from before. The laird had broken his oath by carrying the maiden across the river, and his brother quietly stewed until he could contain himself no more. How could you do it, brother?
Set that aside for now. Come.